When I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was gay, cause I could draw. My uncle was, and I kept my room straight. I told my mom, tears rushing down my face. She's like, Ben, you've loved girls since before pre-K. Tripping. Yeah, I guess she had a point, didn't she? Bunch of stereotypes all in my head. I remember doing the math, like, yeah, I'm good at Little League. A preconceived idea of what it all meant. But those that like the same sex have the characteristics. The right-wing conservatives think it's a decision, and you can be cured with some treatment and religion. Man-made rewiring of a predisposition plan.
My friend Mariah Fox. And I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about gay marriage. So Mariah, how do you feel about gay marriage?
Gay marriage is fine. I believe in gay marriage because I don't discriminate against others.
Okay.
If you're happy, you have a right to be happy. I just think that gay marriage has a couple problems along the way because they naturally can't have babies. But there also is adoption.
Okay. And what do you think society feels about gay marriage?
Society feels about gay marriage. I think some of society is open to gay marriage, and then some isn't, because if it was, it would be legal to marry.
Okay. And how would you feel if you were gay and you were going to get married? How do you think you would feel? Put yourself in the position.
Well, I never can see that, but I don't discriminate, like I said. But if I was gay and I was going to get married,
Would you think
I would have to go to California because, they don't allow it here.
Do you think it would be hard?
Yeah, it would be hard because I wouldn't be able to marry in Chicago, but anything to do for love.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
And this is Ina.
I'm 7 years old and I'm in 1st grade.
Hi Ina, how are you today?
Good.
I have a couple questions for you. Do you think you can answer them?
Yes.
Do you know what the word gay means?
Yeah, like a boy and a boy kiss.
Yes. How do you feel about people that are gay? Do you
I'll
think
call the police, girl.
Do you think it's okay for them to be gay?
No.
Why?
Because
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know? Who told you that it's not okay?
Jesus?
Okay. Okay, Ina, it was nice to meet you. Thank you. First, same-sex marriage is not in the best interest of children. Second, same-sex marriage is not in the best interest of society. And third, same-sex marriage will result in the loss of liberty for those opposed to same-sex marriage.
Hi, my name is Saba. I'm going to interview you.
Hi, Saba. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
We're joking. We know each other.
About gay marriage.
Okay.
Do you support gay marriage?
I do.
Why is that?
Because I actually think of it as being marriage equality rather than gay marriage, because I feel like any two grown-ups who want to be married should be able to be married.
Right. Do you believe that gay marriage is a big issue in the United States?
It's not really something that I believe. It's kind of a fact. It's one of the biggest political issues right now. If any person is running for public office at the state or the federal level, same-sex marriage or marriage equality is something that they are forced to address and to take a side on. So it's like a lot of like the environment or the war in the Middle East. It is one of those issues that any politician has to weigh in on. It's one of the biggest topics right now. It gets a lot of news coverage, and
It's really big.
it's a big deal.
Yeah. Do you feel personally hurt that you can't get married to your opposed?
Do I feel personally hurt?
Yeah.
It's funny because obviously this is an issue that affects me personally. My partner and I have been together for 14 years. We actually don't want to be married. We have we have no interest in being married, but we're very happy with the situation. But I do feel like people who want to get married should be able to get married. So any kind of injustice of any kind drives me crazy. So this does drive me crazy, but in terms of like I don't. And it's certainly something that I feel passionately about, that people should be able to, but it's not something that I want right now. But I still feel that I should have the right to do it if I wanted to do it.
I have a question. Do you have any friends that want to get married but they can't?
I do. I absolutely do. And I have a lot of friends who, college friends and friends that I grew up with who live in other parts of the country, who, they're all. I think we have 14 states right now that allow marriage equality. So. I've been to marriages in other parts of the country. I was one of my best friends from college got married to his partner last fall, and that was in New York. I have the guy who was the editor of my first book. He and his partner live in Minnesota, and they just passed marriage equality, and so they're going to get married this fall. So it's something that is changing, and I think for a lot of people, it's what they want.
For the better.
Yeah. So, but right now, it's been a state issue. You know, it's the states allowed it. But what we're seeing is that, you know, the Supreme Court is arguing it. You know, they have heard the arguments, and that right now they're considering it, and they're supposed to make a decision within the next month or so, and so that could change.
ASAP.
It could change, yeah, everything very quickly around the country.
What are your concerns about the cause in California? Supreme Court.
The cause in California. So what happened in California was that maybe 5 or 7 years ago, they passed gay marriage, and then some conservative groups decided that they didn't want it, and so they added it to the ballot, and just by a very narrow margin, it lost. And so the voters were against it. So all the couples who had gotten married in California, their marriages were declared invalid, which was obviously a pretty frustrating situation for those families. And so now there are some citizens who have taken that case to the Supreme Court and said, we think that we, you know, our marriages, we got married, we have families, we have children, we should have a valid legal marriage. And so they've taken that. That's one of the two arguments that have made it to the Supreme Court. So we'll see what happens. I mean, again, I feel really bad for those families. What does that mean for those families and for their kids, and, you know, to have their parents' marriage declared invalid?
It's emotionally hurt.
I think it must be, yeah, for sure.
Hey, thank you very
That's
much.
it? Great.
Yes.
Those are easy questions. Thank you very much.
Bye.
I recently came out. Everything changed for the better. It was a very freeing experience. Then I met Giselle, and I fell in love, and it felt right, you know, like for the first time. And I told my parents. That didn't go very well. Sorry. My grandmother won't talk to me. She comes from El Salvador, and religion for her was a survival. All she ever really had was prayer, and that's how she got by, but she's using God in a way to hurt me. She openly says like that I recently came out. Everything changed for the better. It was a very freeing experience. Then I met Giselle, and I fell in love, and it felt right, you know, like for the first time. And I told my parents. That didn't go very well. Sorry. My grandmother won't talk to me. She comes from El Salvador, and religion for her was a survival. All she ever really had was prayer, and that's how she got by, but she's using God in a way to hurt me. She openly says like that she's ashamed. She says, oh, Dios te va a castigar por ser una maricona. She even told me once, te va a dar como la sida. I'm like, how would you tell me that I'm going to get an illness because I'm like this? Whether you go to church every Sunday or not, you know, it's a part of the culture in a way, and it's also very different. And a lot of the Latinos in LA, they're first generation, so they come from countries that religion really plays a huge role. The way my life has been going, it's been a little bumpy. And she's like, and all this is happening because God is punishing you. And then I told her, why would God, who is supposed to be merciful and loving, punish me for being who, you know, that's how he made me. My brothers are very supportive. I remember when I was 16, I told him, you know what, I think I'm different. Christopher, who's the baby of the family, he's been my rock throughout all of this. Growing up, he would always tell me, like, you're my hero. You know, even in his college applications, you know, he's like writing about how much I've helped him, but he's really helped me because when I'm feeling down, he just comes and he knows, and he sits next to me. He's like, you know what, I love you regardless. Or like just hearing him speak up and just telling my grandmother, you know what, leave my sister alone. To have someone who could just hear me out and not judge me. It's great.
I had found out that she was cutting herself because she felt depressed about several different things that she had told me. And me being the young brother, I tried being there for her, you know, consoling her, but now I've discovered it was because she was gay and she felt that she had to punish herself.
It was about 3 days after my 16th birthday. My mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and my dad wasn't in my life, and I felt like God was punishing me because, you know, I was having these inner thoughts and these inner feelings for another girl. I thought that maybe by dating a guy it would make things better, but it just made me feel dirty and really, really sick. And I just, you know, I felt like everything bad that had happened was because I was gay. And I thought that maybe if, you know, I took my life, everything would be better. As I was about to, you know, cut myself, not like in a cutter way, but like in a suicidal way. You know, I had the kitchen knife, and I was actually talking to my baby sister who passed away several years before, and I was telling her that, you know, I was going to see her and to take care of my brothers, and right where I was going to cut myself, you know, to die, Christopher walks in. He just bursts the door open, you know, like a little brother, like, Bianca! And I just remember the look on his face, and I automatically, you know, hide the knife underneath my pillow. Felt like his energy just drain. The next day, I go speak to my counselor. I didn't tell her the gay part. I didn't even tell the doctors there. You know, I used the whole daddy issues as a cover-up. And, you know, I told her that I felt so guilty. Like, on top of the guilt that I already felt, the fact that my brother saw me. And it was like, what have I done to him, you know? And she told my mom, and I was put in the Cerritos mental hospital.
I couldn't really understand what it really meant to cut yourself. I couldn't really how extreme it could be. But it still did hurt me. My mom was also sad because I guess my mom kind of took the blame onto herself, that my sister did that she felt she couldn't be, that she wasn't as good as a parent to prevent that.
Christopher, if you didn't walk in there and just yell out my name, I don't know, you know, I can pretty much tell you I wouldn't be here today. And I'm so grateful that you just busted that door open now, you know, and that you saved my life. And I love you so much. Oh God, come here. He's too big. Oh. No one would choose to live a life that you can't hold your partner's hand in public, you can't show affection, and a lot of people live in fear. We have to open their minds a little bit, especially because it's a culture that it's really not talked about. What really helped my mom, I've been having her watch videos like Because the Bible Tells Me So, documentaries. And she's seeing up close the fight, you know, and it's taking away this idea that it's a choice. She's slowly starting to open up. Now that I was able to come out, you know, life has gotten better for me. This is a little inside for like actors. When you're super talented, they call you a triple threat because you could sing, act, and dance. Well, I'm a triple threat. I am Latina, I'm queer, and I'm a woman, so yeah.